My name is Kin Moy. I'm a former professional fighter turned professional stylist, and this is Dapper Dangerous. Today we are going to talk about the inverted U curve and how it applies to fashion and style. How this applies to style, in short, would be basically like if you don't try at all, it doesn't work out for you. If you try too hard, it also doesn't work out for you. But it gets a little bit more intricate than that. Let's say with your appearance, if you are used to wearing ripped sweatpants and stained t-shirts, your appearance will be working against you. People are going to look at you and judge you negatively, and this is going to hurt your credibility and your social and professional interactions, obviously. Let's say that you, instead of wearing ripped sweatpants and stained t-shirts, wear clean t-shirts and intact joggers. Suddenly you'll notice that you have better social results than in the previous example. And maybe if you decided to wear jeans and a clean t-shirt, chinos and a clean t-shirt, maybe a button down and chinos, and so on and so forth, you'll get increasingly positive results. There is a point after which, though, after you hit your peak, increasing efforts into dressing up are going to yield negative results. And this can come in a few different ways. One is that if you start to assume that the more dressed up you are, the better the results will be, that will lead you to overdress. If you could imagine showing up to a beach party, barbecue kind of deal, wearing a tuxedo, all of a sudden you went so far that you overshot the bounds and now you're overdressed and people think that you're out of touch socially and it plays against you. It can come out in more insidious ways than that as well. Something that happens is the more you get into a hobby, your tastes will start to develop and you'll start to like things that you didn't when you were a newbie, but also that maybe the average Joe will not appreciate as much. So for instance, let's say you got into suits you started with your classic navy suit and at first it was just baggy and didn't fit you, and you got better results than when you were wearing sweatpants, but not great. You saw a increase in positive reactions when you got that suit tailored. But then maybe the peak is when you're wearing that with a nice overall outfit in terms of coordinating your shirt and tie and pocket square. But then you start adding, say you start going overboard, you start wearing a lapel flower all the time, and you start wearing a watch with like 6 bracelets, and you start wearing spectator shoes with your suits. And at some point, you'll notice that the responses will become increasingly negative. And it's because, again, there's this happy medium, this perfect balance where most people will appreciate and be able to discern that you're dressed well and in a manner that they attribute positive behaviors and assessments to, and they'll be like, wow, this guy looks sharp, he's got his life together, he looks very competent and smart. And then there's a point after which negative values will be attributed to it, like this guy's a dork, why is he wearing a fedora, this guy's trying too hard, he's wearing like a million accessories. And that's something to think about with style and menswear. And this goes beyond just menswear, but you'll see it even in terms of like offshoots and niches. Let's say Ivy prep kind of menswear offshoot. There's a whole group of people who love suits, not just for suits' sake, but they also really like this idea of Ivy style, which was, like how people would dress back in the day at an Ivy League college. Let's say Ralph Lauren is a brand where the Ivy style and traditions are part of their story and part of their visual identity. So as someone gets if someone gets deeper into that niche, they start getting weird. Like a example of that would be wearing white socks with your suits, because that's part of the style. There is some historical context to that, and people who are really deep into Ivy style will be like, nice white socks with your loafers there. And everyone else is just going to be like, what is wrong with this guy? How is he so like socially awkward that he thinks it's okay to wear white socks with dress shoes? As you start to stray from that peak of balance, where someone who's maybe a menswear aficionado will appreciate your color coordination and the fit of your outfit, yet just the same, the average Joe will look at you and think that you're James Bond. Once you start getting further from that or further past that, you'll lose mass appeal, and hence you'll lose the effects, the positive effects that you could otherwise have from style. But also, the further down one branch you go, the more niche and specialized you become, and then next thing you know, general suit aficionados don't even like your style. Only maybe Ivy folks, or say if you're really into that, PT Uomo sprezzatura look, only people who are into that will like your style, and everyone else will think that you're either too trendy or too flashy, whatever it is. So long story short, and this harkens back to the last video, which was about dressing for effect versus expression, it's important to keep in mind that you can have a happy medium of both, but when you go too far down the path of expression, you will start to lose benefits for effect. So I would love to hear in the comments what you think about this. If you agree or if you disagree, just let me know and let's talk it out. And if you enjoy this content and would like to see more, and I promise it's going to get better as we go, then please hit the subscribe button. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time. PT Uomo sprezzatura look, only people who are into that will like your style, and everyone else will think that you're either too trendy or too flashy, whatever it is. So long story short, and this harkens back to the last video, which was about dressing for effect versus expression, it's important to keep in mind that you can have a happy medium of both, but when you go too far down the path of expression, you will start to lose benefits for effect. So I would love to hear in the comments what you think about this. If you agree or if you disagree, just let me know and let's talk it out. And if you enjoy this content and would like to see more, and I promise it's going to get better as we go, then please hit the subscribe button. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.